I only sing with myself in the shower.
Yeah, that's also nice.
We can do like a SingStar party in our apartment.
Yes,
in
we do
Bologna.
this. Yes.
This is the way to
Amore. Bam, bam.
This is outtake.
You're listening to In Response, a legacy podcast. A show where three handsome guys talk about their favorite Magic the Gathering format, Legacy. This show is brought to you by queerness@anycost.com and austrian-legacy.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/response_legacy. And now, lean back and enjoy.
Hello everyone and welcome to the new episode Amore baby from
In Response,
A legacy podcast.
I'm Philip Klein
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Peter Blank.
and we're talking about
Legacy.
most
of the time.
that was a little bit out of
Out of topic or out of order?
Out of order.
Out of order or out of theme. We also have to mention it is the 37th episode.
yeah. Did I forget to say it?
Yes, but it doesn't
I'm not
matter.
sure. I'm also a little bit out of practice actually.
Of course, yeah,
because it
because-
was six weeks ago that I had my
Yeah,
last.
you didn't attend last time. We
were-
waited for you
yeah.
like 2 or 3 hours, but you didn't show up.
So basically like every episode.
Yeah, it didn't change much actually.
But most of the time I'm going to show up. So
True.
yeah, I had something to do, some little things. Maybe I just
You can just start
right here,
yeah.
right now with some private talk.
Sure.
But the first, before we start with the private talk, we've got to mention our 2 Patreons, Christian Neutz and Matt Duncan. Thank you very much for your contribution to running this show.
Thank you.
It's
Awesome.
great to have you on. So let's start. At first, why haven't I attended the last
Episode.
episode?
It's like a mystery. We had some.
We had no idea.
We had no idea
clue.
where you are. You didn't call. You didn't text.
That's not true. I've heard your episodes.
yeah. True.
Normally, I gotta say, normally I don't listen to our episodes because I can't stand my own voice when I talk.
So this was the perfect episode to actually listen to.
Yeah, for me, for sure. Yeah, and you guys really did a great job. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure to listen to you.
Yeah.
And now I really can feel how our listeners always feel when they listen to our episodes.
Really?
No, not really, because I don't know about my part in this. But at least your part was great. So
Okay.
yeah.
You kind of convinced us for a second, I think, but I'm not sure if I'm really convinced all that much.
You don't need to.
My self-reputation is so big. I know
Yeah.
that it was great.
Okay. Yeah.
It was, apparently I say it way too much. It was really, really great.
I thought you would say it was really, really big, but okay. What happened in my life for the last 6 weeks? Yeah, I had my... It's kind of hard to explain. It's not really a master's degree
I mean,
exam.
I think we
but-
have 2 or 3 hours time, I think, right now. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can-
then
you
I'll
can
just
start from the beginning.
Right from the beginning, yeah.
It was in the ancient times of the Romans.
when I first made their colors and painted the walls.
And it really depended on the area where you can get the best version of blue and stuff like that. You had to get the right flowers.
Yeah.
And-
Or berries, maybe.
Or berries, yeah.
Oh my god, so much shit talking already in this episode.
This is what Peter and I are imagining you doing in the classes.
In your free time, you wander around the mountains and collecting berries to make your own paint.
I would actually love to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but seriously, what did you do?
Wandering around in the mountains collecting berries.
Oh, really?
Almost. I had my exams for the master's degree in painting.
Painter's degree.
Yeah, actually, for non-Austrian, German, Switzerland listeners, because the whole master's degree in how do you say this?
In the Bologna system?
No, not the Bologna system, but we go through this also.
Well, the bachelor and master is a Bologna system.
Yeah, that's true. But I want to talk about the
How's it called? Handworking.
that's the Handwerk. How is it called?
I thought you wanna you
in
got-
craft, is it crafting?
Crafting. Yeah, probably crafting. At least in Dungeons and Dragons. So maybe crafting is okay. And that's a special thing about the German and Austrian and Switzerland.
DACH region.
The Dach region, yeah.
It's called like that in English.
And like I said, it's a special thing here because if you want to be if you want to do a crafting profession, then you have to go to school for 3 years at first, and then that's your apprenticeship. And if you want to go further, you can do your masters, and that's also again it's a school with an exam on the end. And I had school for 8 months, and I'm still not done yet. But the hard part and the huge part actually is done now, and
So basically, in the fall, you will continue with that.
in the winter.
And this is what I meant with the Bologna system. This is not to be confused with that.
Okay,
This is not the same.
Yeah.
Like maybe everyone else might think about when they hear master.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned this.
It's a different kind, but
Yeah.
in the I think the European law enforced now something like a point system, how every education is ranked, and if I remember correctly, the craftsman master is now the same as a bachelor or
Yeah.
something like that. So it's in point. It's a 0.6 education or something like that, if I remember it.
I don't know.
I think
actually.
it's 0.6 or something like
Never
that.
heard of that. Yeah.
But I
and-
know, yeah, you're
yeah.
right. It's the same level as the
It's
bachelor.
0.6. I think the master is 0.7 or 0.8, and the PhD is 0.9. So the ranking. So because in Austria we have a lot of various degrees running around, like the engineer, which is like
The
basically
engineer, yeah.
an engineer, and your profession is an engineer. No, my degree is an engineer. So what the fuck? And
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that we can rank it in the European region. Basically, if you go to Italy or to France and you say, yeah, I have an ING in front of my name, this means I'm not an engineer, but my degree is engineer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but this is Austria. We love our degrees.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's true. and then, speaking of degrees, it's my MST. So that's
Master
the
of-
abbreviation. No,
Master.
that's just for master.
Okay.
It's MST for master.
Just simply master. Okay.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is it's in front of the name.
Yeah.
And someone I know has the master of arts, so the Meister,
Yeah.
and she could even get a master in another degree, so she's master name master.
Yeah.
In
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I know this. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and what was really hard about the exam was that it was so many was that I had exam for 37 hours if you combine it all in
In what time frame? Like 2 or 3 days?
4 days.
4 days.
37 hours in 4 days, yeah.
So
it was really
like the
I mean-
Matura.
Maybe. Well, a lot of people actually don't work that much. So
yeah. It was a hard time, but now the huge part is over, and I will continue in the winter. I already
Signed up.
Thank you. That's such a word. I already signed up for it. I will start it on the 16th of January.
Yeah. And this is the part about
The
running
business
your
part,
business.
the business part, and then I'll.
So economical things you have to know. Yes. Okay.
And then I'm fully
The master.
Yeah.
The master of disaster.
And to celebrate all this, I went to Croatia this week, or last week actually, with my girlfriend, and we went to Crikvenica.
Nice.
I don't know the place, but it sounds
north of.
It sounds very Croatian like.
It's in the north of Croatia by Rijeka.
Is it on the coast?
It's on the coast.
Okay, basically
and,
any tourism area in
for
Croatia
sure.
is on the coast.
and we just went there for 3 nights, and we had a great time. Just enjoyed the sun, a little bit relaxing. Enjoyed the storm.
The storm.
And also the
But
rain.
In the Mediterranean area, storms are quite common, especially in the evenings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was really nice, a nice vacation, and now I'm ready for the next trip to
Bologna.
Yeah. But we come to this in a little bit, so why don't we head over you, Daniel?
Yes, I mean basically, the only thing that I can, as a highlight, I can tell you about is I had a kind of a business trip to Ghent.
It's in Belgium.
It's in Belgium, yes. I mean, it is. There are a lot of cities that people might go to when they visit Belgium.
Brugge.
Yes, exactly. There's a few cities that are mentioned. The first one is, I think, is Antwerpen, then Brussels maybe, then Brugge, and then somewhere in the top 10 is mentioned Ghent.
Yeah.
But Ghent actually is a really nice city.
They have a good football club, if I
Yeah,
remember
KAC.
correctly. Yeah.
The KAC Ghent.
I can't tell you about this much because I only went there for, I think, 4 days.
Yeah.
And it was, of course, packed with business. It was a conference.
Yeah.
So we had like a conference location with different presentations. We collaborated with different people. I mean, as I'm a scientist, I have a lot of people of different research areas that I collaborated with.
Trust me, I'm a scientist.
Exactly. This is what I would
like that.
Yeah, I'm scientist. I know this.
I'm a scientist.
Yeah, science, bitch.
Exactly. But we got to visit the city a little bit. Unfortunately, not football, but it is actually very Mediterranean-like. So we have a lot of different old buildings, like churches and Gothic style like buildings. Very beautiful. not the things that you think about, Peter.
I totally understand what he meant. Yeah.
Philip understands me.
I'm thinking about Kiss now with the
Yeah.
faces.
Well, Kiss is not Gothic. This is
No,
something completely
That's
different.
glam.
It's glam rock.
No,
yeah.
I just mean the face style.
Yeah,
so-
I know what you meant.
That's
Yeah,
You meant corpse paint.
corpse paint.
That's
No,
Gothic
I know
style.
that. I know the Gothic style
yeah,
of
medieval,
buildings, yeah.
ancient, not ancient, but medieval
When
style.
was Gothic?
12.
15th to
12 to 15. Yeah.
1500.
Yeah.
12 to 1500.
Yeah, something like this.
So Renaissance was
after that, yeah.
after 700.
16, 700. yeah.
It's depends where.
Because there was something in between, and then the
it was
Renaissance.
something. It was Gothic and then Renaissance,
Renaissance
Yeah.
picked up the,
And then the
ancient
Baroque.
thing.
and then the Rococo.
Okay.
It was basically if you go about the about the history
learned
of
about
the
this.
of the art styles. It's at first you had the Romanic, and
Yeah.
then the Gothic, then Renaissance, Baroque, Rococo, and then you go into the new era that's starting with the how is it called in English? I don't know. It's in German. It's the Klassizismus, the Classicism,
Yeah.
and then you come back to the historism.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
where they all
Where the old approaches are coming back to life or
Yeah.
something like that.
Genau.
We get a huge influence of
Then you have-
the older things.
Yeah, historism is
Yeah.
new Gothic, new Romantic, and
Yeah.
all in all.
Yeah.
All in
In the
one.
music, it's the same.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about music, the whole development always advanced in its style, but now in the last 50 years or something like that, we don't expand our classical music repertoire. We just use the things that were already done.
Never
You're
change writing system.
hugely
Well,
influenced by the older style
This
nowadays.
is basically the same for any style
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Actually. But enough for this small excurse by Peter and Philip.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Like I said, very beautiful city to look at. And what we did was actually, for example, there's a lot of buildings, and I think I was just reminded of Linz there, because there was a lot of buildings built in Gothic style. Then they ran out of money. They had to leave it for some years, I don't know, and then they gathered the money again, and they could continue building the building or constructing the building, but the Gothic style was gone at the time, so they continued with a different style of building. So there is maybe a church, something that is half Gothic and then half something completely different.
That's actually
Half Gothic
historism.
and
Yes,
That's historism, because in the historism you had the
a sub theme.
a sub theme. It's called in German the Eklektizismus,
Yeah,
where you combine all the different art styles, like the Romantic and the Gothic and the Baroque and the Rococo, into one.
yeah. I'm not sure if it was a combining factor, but
Probably-
it was just
it was just a timing
the
factor.
time shift, because they ran out of money at that time. They had to leave it down for a few years, and then afterwards, a
new
different style
style.
was popular.
Yeah, that totally depends when the building was built.
I'm not sure. It was sometimes in the medieval times. I don't know when
In the
exactly.
medieval times.
Yeah. I think it was around 1500, something like this. I don't
Yeah.
know. I couldn't. It is, or is it? I think it was around when Karl V was born. I think he was exactly
Okay, I
born
don't know when he was.
on 1505. I think was
Okay.
when he was
Okay.
born. If I might be wrong about this, but around 1500. So it was around this area of time. So I don't know. And
Anyway.
anyways, it has or is place of the community rated best beer of the world.
Okay, shots fired. Shots fired here.
It was rated that in 2017 because
That's long
Belgium
ago.
is long ago.
Yep.
To be fair, but Belgium is known for a lot of craft beers, a lot of Trappist beers, and one of these is, I don't know exactly the name, I can't remember, but one of them is
Was it Stella?
no,
We are now a beer appreciation podcast.
yes.
And a
Beer is nice.
history and arts podcast.
And one of them was basically the best beer community rated of the world. And it is so popular that you can get, I don't know, like a 300 milliliter bottle, and it costs around 20 euros, something like this. So it is that popular by tourists and something like that. If you want to get your hands on a beer like this. There is a different one that is also known, that is called Sankt Bernardus. It is basically the same recipe for the beer, but it costs the same as a normal beer, and you can taste it for the same price as a normal beer.
Okay.
So basically, the same idea here. And this was basically one of the highlights that I actually encountered. I get to taste the best beer in the world.
I gotta say, that's a huge highlight.
For sure. This is really nice. And
Have you ever drunken the Delirium?
no, not to my
That's
not
all.
to my knowledge.
That's also a Belgian beer, and it's so great.
Okay, maybe it is not really common. Well, we went to a bar that has like 500 different beers
Okay,
in there. So maybe it was there, but we didn't pick it. They had like a very strange kind of, how do you say this, a common theme when you there is like you can order a special pint of beer that is actually 1.2 liters.
Okay,
Like
that's a
big-
pint. Yeah, it's a double pint.
A
or-
double pint, something like this, or almost triple
a
pint.
triple pint. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you get it in. You have a wooden.
Boot.
Yeah, you have something to hold the glass basically because it
okay,
is
yeah.
like a shape of an. I don't know. It is very elongated and it is wider at the bottom. It kind of like for chemists it looks like basically kind of the glassware that you would use in a laboratory.
Erlenmeyer Kolben.
Something like this, but a little bit different, of course. And what you had to do when you ordered this, you had to give up one of your shoes. You had to give it to the waiter, and they would bring it to the top of the building. They have a basket
Yeah.
where they would put the shoe inside, and then you have to drink your beer, and then afterwards you get your shoe back, basically. This is kind of the theme going on there.
Okay, that's kind of strange.
I don't know.
So you can't order third beer at once.
Some
No.
people can.
Well, you can, of course, but you have to finish this one first, and then afterwards, when you finish it, you can
Get a new one.
Get a new-
But
okay.
I think because they got a lot of the beer bottle stolen. So
Probably, yeah.
not
so
so sure
if you
about
use like flip flops, which are cheap shoes,
Yeah.
you can steal the stuff because your boots doesn't matter.
Could be the case, yes. But I think it's kind of a fun thing to do. I think it's not really related to them
stealing.
yeah. I think it's not really related to that, but more of like, the experience. I have to drink it before I get my shoe back. Nothing like this.
But I gotta say, always when you're talking about craft beers or something, I always imagine the scene from the one of the Simpsons episodes where the dogs are swimming in the beer. That's a new great taste.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. And there's, oh my god, this beer is strong. All of them are so strong. This is amazing. I think there is nothing below 6% alcohol.
Yeah, that's typical.
Very, very typical. I mean, I think on average there's like 10% in the beers. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's much.
That's much, yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Life's
for
hard.
life's hard sometimes. You gotta get through it. But that's basically everything that I have to tell.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's continue
now
with Peter.
I have university stuff to do. I did a presentation today about the data law, the GDPR on blockchain, smart contract technology. And for the series or Peter series to watch,
Peter Series Corner.
yeah, I can recommend Welcome to Eden, which was a nice watch together with my girlfriend, which
Nice.
is a new series on Netflix. And the new episodes of Shaming King now dropped this week or last week. And yeah, it's a great remembering for watching the previous season in the previous years. So yeah, that was. I think I kept it really short.
you kept it really, really short.
So that we don't have a half an hour intro section about ourselves and
Hey,
what we can celebrate.
To our fans here, we haven't met each other in 6 weeks in a constellation like this. So
That's kind of not true because we met 2 weeks ago at the FNM. So
but yeah, when you're playing cards, when you're slinging spells,
you
it's
don't have the
kind-
time
yeah.
to talk privately.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. You have to hold up counterspell.
Yeah,
And also the pre-talk today was again really,
long.
yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
Talked
So-
about 2 hours beforehand, so
Which isn't that much actually for us.
No.
So
we
Was
started kinda
average.
late.
yeah, but we had to celebrate our 2-year anniversary for the podcast now.
Woohoo! So
Nice.
for listeners, we have birthday on the 28th of May.
I actually didn't notice. I have to be
Me
completely
neither.
honest.
I read the post on Facebook. We have anniversary.
What is actually the first date when our first episode
Yeah.
launched. Okay,
Okay, so
But
it
it's-
is actually 3 days prior or 4
kind
days
of.
prior.
But you could also argue that it is maybe the first time that the idea came up.
Yeah.
Of I think you actually. I don't know. You asked in the group, I want to do a podcast. Who wants to join? And I think I said yes. Why not? And then Peter, you also said okay, nice. I want to join.
Yeah, I said to Phil, yeah, we talked about like Michael's birthday party about it, and yeah, definitely I'm in. So it's actually
Kind of
Michael's
random.
birthday party is the reason that
birth.
was the birth.
Of the
So
Birth
it's
of the
like the
podcast, yeah.
6th of
of
January.
So it's way older.
So
Actually.
the idea is way older.
But that's like giving birth and
It's like the injection of the semen and the arrival of the baby. So.
Yes, exactly. I think so. Where you can draw the line, I'm not sure. It's very difficult.
so for our listeners, you can now imagine Peter when he does the swim like Homer Simpson does when he explains how babies are made.
Yeah, it is the truth.
Yeah, we are scientists.
Of course.
Trust us, Daniel is science.
I'm a scientist. I must know I'm a scientist. So believe me, and I'm your local
My
scientist.
name includes PhD, so trust me.
Your friend, the liberal scientist from the neighborhood, Daniel.
But yeah, enough shit talking. We are no, not enough shit talking. This podcast is all about shit talking all
Let's
the
talk
time.
Bologna, right? Because we mentioned it already.
In the Bologna system.
Yeah, kind of.
So this episode should all be about Bologna. So we talked about the Bologna system, the master's degrees,
Yeah.
and we are now talking about the Four Seasons tournament in Bologna. That is happening. This episode airs on Thursday or Friday.
I don't know. Maybe even Thursday.
Yeah.
It would be great.
I
if
mean, it wouldn't change anything because you kind of have to finish it early because on Friday we travel. So.
we're already in the bus. So
In which bus?
In the burn bus.
In the burn bus. We have a burn bus. Maybe
So
we should
all
explain. We should explain what this is, maybe, because right now we have spoiled it anyways.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. You spoiled it.
We have Peter, and I don't know where the bus belongs to. Is it
It's my skiing club. So
your skiing club? Okay, he brought a bus where I think 8 people can fit comfortably.
8 people can fit in
Yeah,
comfortably.
and we are 8 people,
Yeah.
and we wanna play burn.
Yeah. I mean, it's not everyone is playing burn on the
Yeah,
side.
that's kind of a
event, but
letdown.
Unfortunately, I mean,
The
we
idea was
really,
that all 8 of us
No,
that are
the
traveling.
original
the
idea was
original-
that everyone from the Austrian
Yeah,
legacy
yeah.
community is playing burn at the side event
at the sand event on Saturday.
on Saturday.
But at
and
least
to get the meta share of burn to 20% or
this
more.
was so nice. But I don't know how many people are we? We are 3, and that's it.
No, I think we're about
5, 6.
5 or 6.
6 to 7 people who are playing burn.
Okay, this is
Okay, let's-
still a respectable share. I think
Yeah.
they might be when they're gathering the
Above the
data,
1% line.
like
Yeah, definitely above the 1%.
15% Delva, 10% Jessica control, then I don't know 5%
Paint,
Incast,
Naya, Debs.
Naya, burn.
Yeah,
This is us guys.
yeah.
Hello,
That's a burn bus.
the burn bus.
So our group is now called on WhatsApp like the BBB and not
Yes.
the BBC because Burn Bus Bologna.
Of course.
Okay, just thought about why the sea.
But of course, this is just
It's from a different usage for a different website.
this is what we had in planning a long time ago. But
We had it actually in plan for MKM series in Prague,
yeah,
but yeah,
Because of Burnosh, yeah.
yeah, burnish. This
Because
is
of the Burnosh accident.
is it
Incident?
Is it an incident?
I think it's an incident.
I was, the story is actually this. I hate burn. I really hate this shitty deck. But my last name is Pernush, and this kind of rhymes with burn in some way, and people called me like this, and I think it was in MKM Frankfurt. No,
Yeah.
is it?
It was in Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, yes. And they convinced me to play burn in a side event because I'm burners basically.
I think it
It-
was.
it-
like-
That was the first time you ever got a hold of the deck. yeah.
Yes, the first time I touched a goblin guide with my naked hands, it was
That
disgusting.
sounded dirty.
Yeah,
so
it kind of
gross.
felt
yeah, the problem
weird.
is it wasn't white bordered. So
oddly satisfying, and and it felt great actually. I have to admit, Burn just felt I went really nice in this event. It was the best performance of my whole weekend.
That's the power of
Yes,
burn.
I was so hooked actually. And this was the time where this meme around this burn in our community was born,
Yeah.
kind of. And-
Because also of Alexander Klinger,
yeah,
and he had a cap,
Yeah.
a snapback cap.
Yeah.
from
that-
Ultimate Cut.
from Ultimate Guard, that's really colorful and
flashy.
yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Really flashy, and he put on his sunglasses, and he really looked like such a poser.
Yeah.
And that's basically the classical burn player style now,
Yeah.
which we all try to be rocking on Saturday.
Exactly. And that's the reason why I want to do this, just because for the fun of it, basically.
Yeah.
For the heck of it. In that sense, burn bus, here we come.
Yeah. So when talking about burn, what are the decks that you guys will bring for the tournament?
I'm packing for Goblin Guides, then for Eidolons, then
For Taylor Swift spears, yeah.
yes.
Basically, the core of the burn deck are about 50 cards, I think.
Yeah, I think even more.
If you include the mountains, it's for the main deck like
I have a question for you. A serious
54.
question.
19 or 20 mountains.
Yes, exactly. This is what I want.
Now I'm very too good.
I'm not sure, but I think I want to play 19.
I think
Peter's stance is 20, as far as I know.
I just took the calculation from Gallagher, so and he was playing 20, and
What did he calculate?
I don't know what he calculated,
Well-
but he talked in depth with the Legacy Burn community on Discord, and they are currently on the stance of 20, if I remember correctly.
Really? Okay.
So I'm kind of just using them as a resource.
Yeah,
You
makes
are
sense.
camp 20 and we are camp 19.
I'm not completely a camp. in
I'm
this sense.
definitely camp 19. I play all the
I-
time 19 mountains
But
every
I
time I
know-
play burn.
I know that Burn is a deck that oftentimes has the worst matchup against itself.
Yeah.
And this might be because of mana issues. It might be because of screw of lots in other way.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that with 20 lands you're flooded. You can't flood too often.
can't
But of course, if you are 19, maybe you are screwed too often. I don't know.
Yeah, the
You only
problem
need one,
kind.
so pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, the kind of thing is that you need like 3.
Yeah, I think you on
On average, you want 3 to 4
free lands,
lands.
and then you don't want to draw any extra, basically.
Yeah, you kind of want to draw the 4th land for the second Fire Blast too. But everyone,
Well, ideally you don't need a second.
ideally you don't need it, but it
If you need a
always
second
depends on the
fire
hand.
blast,
So
it's
yeah.
kind of strange.
Kind of strange, yeah. But I can get arguments for both. I don't know. There is an article that I often refer to that is from Frank Carsten, if you know them. He's of course, is very known for doing all these mathematical hypergeometric calculations for odds on how many things or sources you need for any given question you want to answer in that sense. And one of them is how many lands do you need to consistently hit your land drops.
Yeah.
And I think for 20 lands you are very consistent to hitting 2 lands and somewhat consistent to hitting your 3rd land on turn 3.
Yeah.
I don't know by heart what the difference between 19 and 20s. I might have to look into this a little bit again before deciding how many lands I want to raid.
But I think not hitting the second land on turn 2 is
very bad.
such a bad thing to
Yeah,
happen.
of
And
course.
burn is a deck that really
Yeah,
doesn't
absolutely.
want to mulligan. So yeah.
You need your second land on turn 2. This
Yeah.
is a must.
And you
Beyond
have to
that-
keep the one lander. That's the problem too, because the deck mulligans so bad.
Yeah, kind of. It is. It is.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It is.
So having the
Most you
issue of
can
not
mull one time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you
It,
can
it is a critical mass deck. Yeah.
on turn 3 you need at the latest the second land drop. So,
Or life total control, as some people might.
or a 7-card storm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 card storm. I also like this.
Yeah. So it's very complicated deck actually to play.
What I
The mirror is
always
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
what's interesting?
The mirror.
The mirror.
Because it always shifts between who is the control deck and who is the aggro deck. Because on the
Yeah,
one,
like instantly. Yeah.
yeah,
Like, in,
like with a bolt.
yeah.
yeah, because at the point, one player has the creatures on, and the other one has to shoot the creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are on the play, you deploy your creatures, and the opponent has to shoot the creatures. And then the creatures on the one side are now over because you had only 2 or 3 creatures or whatever, and then the player that was on the draw can deploy his creatures, which will get shooten afterwards from the other the other burn player. So it always goes a little bit back and forth, I would say.
Yeah, true.
Sounds actually kind of interesting.
It was really interesting when Daniel and I played the mirror for once or twice or something like that.
It clearly depends on how many creatures everyone has.
Yeah.
Like if you have a handful of bolts, you have to be the control player because I mean, unless your opponent also has only bolts, then it's
kind of uninteresting.
Yeah.
But that's every
pew,
combo
pew, pew,
mirror
pew,
or something
pew.
like that.
Yeah. I fear the burn mirror. I have to say
Yeah, I don't think it will happen.
that likely,
Yeah, that
maybe
likely,
not, maybe not. But it will be funny if that happens.
It probably will happen to one of us.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But besides burn, what decks do we want to bring to the table for this tournament?
Peter, I'm not sure. What will you bring? Did you bring your old Stifle Knot?
I think I will bring Black White Helm of Obedience. No, I
You had me. You had me almost.
Yeah.
I think it still would be a nice deck to play because I think the main deck Leyland of the Void would be kind of good. So no, but I will play Redwood Painter, my fellow brew with experimental synthesizer,
Yeah.
and
To be able to grind.
The way of the samurai.
Yeah.
yeah, true. And I think the deck is good. Locally, I have like 25 wins, 10 losses, 1 draw for FNMs. So kind of great.
You're convinced. That
Yeah,
is
that's true.
The deck on a local level, it performs really, really good. And yeah, I think if I can get the right matchups, for example, dodging a lot of prison style decks, it ends and show and tell. It should be good. And mono green, Cloud Post and
Yeah.
That's probably your hardest matchup, am I right?
Cloud Post is horrible. I can't win against it because main deck you have to fear the main deck endurance.
Yeah.
They have an Emrakul in
Yeah.
the deck. They're playing 4 Piffing Needle in the main deck. So what the and they play Bosecho.
Yeah.
So how the fuck do you resolve a Paint the Grindstone combo?
Like never.
I need them to not have the endurance.
Yeah.
And I need my one of Soulguard Lantern in play to remove the graveyard from shuffling back in with the Emrakul trade on the stack. So it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, of course. I mean, for all decks, there are really, really bad matchups, of course.
But I think there can't be any
worse.
any matchup that is harder than this.
It's probably a 90 to 10 or 95 to 5.
It's 100 to 0.
It's like 99 to 1.
Okay.
I would say. I think there can be a combination of my opponent having to mulligan down to 1 because he never sees a land in his hand. which is like in the 1% I can win. I mean, I can in theory win with the Saga tokens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, this deck has like 4 Force of Vigor in the sideboard additionally, and another Endurance. So
It's also true, yeah.
doesn't get better.
So speaking of bad matchups, how do you plan to play against the field?
I mean, I've prepared now a lot against Delta on the last weekend, and I think the key card in this matchup is like Urza Saga, and
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I mean, you're still a Paint the Grindstone deck, so it could be the Paint the Grindstone is the combo to look at, but I think that the Urza Saga tokens are just the things that can win you the game,
I
and
think
the Samurai tokens from Experimental Synthesizer are also huge cards.
the way to win here versus Delva is to always threaten the combo,
Yeah.
but to win via the Saga tokens.
Yeah, and you have to play not the combo role in this matchups, but you have to play the control role.
Yeah.
Because I play the 4 Pyroblasts, or 2 Pyro, 2 Red Elemental Blasts. I play 2 Swords of Blushes in the sideboard for this matchup. I play 2 Portable Holds in the main deck for this matchup. And I play 2 Rip Aparts in the sideboard. So I have
spicy.
I have a lot of removal spells for my opponent's creatures. I even on the weekend Rip Aparted twice a Murktide Regent for the kill.
Oh, that's great.
It's such a bad feeling, but it worked. But yeah, having the Piffing Needle against Wasteland is one of the key cards, especially in game 1.
Yeah, I see that.
And yeah,
For sure, yeah.
you need to play the control role and don't let the Murktide survive.
How would you play against 8-cast, for example?
8-cast, it really depends on their turn 1, I would say. A Chalice on 1 is really, really bad. But if it's not the Chalice, I think I can play around, threaten the combo. And I have also the form of card advantage in form of the Experimental Synthesizer.
True, yeah.
So I can keep up with them, especially as Esper Sentinel is a good card against them on the first 2 turns and stuff like that, where you can get card advantage out of it. So I can threat the combo in various iterations with an Assault Fiddlebender or the Engineer and the Welder. And the Welder is also a really good card against them, as it can exchange, for example, if I have the 4 mana for it, a Kappa Cannoneer for a Mishra's Wobble. And yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
That's
great.
good, yeah.
Or Lotus Petal. So
Yeah,
that's
this
the
is
way-
something a hidden tech actually that you can also exchange
Yeah, your
from
opponent's
your
cards.
opponent's cards. Yeah,
So, for example, if a Chromeworks against Mono Red Stompy gets into the graveyard,
yeah,
I can trade the Chromeworks against the Chalice, and then
Trinisphere, the
Trinisphere or whatever.
lattice in the most extreme case.
Yeah,
Well, not
the
really.
Khan has to die for it.
Yeah,
but
if
yeah,
there is no card, yeah.
yeah.
Or bridge, I don't know,
Yeah.
something like this. Whatever.
So
But you don't get the
the opponent gets them.
the opponent gets it.
the opponent gets it.
You
Yeah.
just
But
exchange 2 cards.
Yeah. Or a Chalice. I can trade a Chalice in the graveyard for any other thing, then it's just a Chalice on
On zero. Yeah.
and it
Okay,
doesn't
yeah.
really matter. Yeah. So yeah, but 8-cast will be a tough matchup. Here
Yeah.
the Pyro and Red Elemental Blast from the main deck come in clutch to deal with the Kappa Cannoneer.
Absolutely.
And yeah, the Soul Guide Lantern, because of the Urza Saga package, is also huge, as it can exile the Kappa Cannoneer from the graveyard so that they can't recast it with Emery. And my construct tokens can keep up, I think, with theirs. So
Well, they also have constructs, of
yeah.
course.
So it's a little bit of a saga race, but I think I have to bet I win.
You have the
button.
combo at least,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I have the blast in the main deck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's probably.
it's if it's an start on the Chalice on 1, I need a very specific draw to handle them. But if they don't get out the Pithing Needle fast, I can just play Urza Saga, 2 or 3 0-drop artifacts, a painter, and I have to win on turn 3. So, or I can play Urza Saga on turn 1, tap it on the next turn for mana, and another land, play the painter, and on turn 3 I just win. So it's
Like
still
Gino.
possible.
Yeah.
And they don't really have a lot of cards that interact with me. Nowadays they play 1 or 2 Otovaras and 1 Ether Spellbomb and the Pithing Needle or something like that. So it's not that much of interaction actually. I mean, they have the Force of Will, but yeah, that's everything that can stop me.
True.
So
And what's your most feared matchup besides mono green Cloud Post?
Mono Red Prison is horrible.
Okay.
At least the configuration that I played at our local community, because our Mono Red Prison players are on Karns and Fiery Confluence.
Okay.
So
Not on your cool hops. How do you say this?
no, they are playing Karn and Fiery Confluence, and that makes it really, really hard. And yeah, this one is kind of bad. Sneak and Show can be tough, but with Urza Saga nowadays, you have a better I win button besides the combo, because yeah, Emrakul is a big problem.
Yeah, that's true.
That's something that I like about the Leyland Helm combo, because Emrakul is just not an issue. And yeah. But yeah.
And which matchup do you look forward to?
Delver can be good. Blue control decks, I can grind out something like the Jessica Breacher decks are usually good, because you can play the slow game. You can force them to use resources against your combo. I have the ability to play into Melton in the sideboard, because I have a lot of artifacts that I can sack that draw me some cards. So I can use the Urza Saga, the first Urza Saga, to force a meltdown. Because, yeah, you just make 1 token, another token, get an artifact that draws you a card, play another artifact. Now you have 2 4/4s, and they go to town. And if they use the meltdown, you basically used 1 Urza Saga. And this Urza Saga gets you a card that you can sack for a card. So it wasn't even that bad of an exchange. And especially with Experimental Synthesizer, you generate a lot of card advantage. Every welder is a card that they have to deal.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Because the welder is just an insane card, and I couldn't think of how stupid I am for not playing 4 welders the whole time I played with Painter. But the card is just so insane. It's like, yeah, insane. I played with 2 welders and 4 engineer the most time of my life, and now with playing 4 welders, it's just so amazing. I mean, the configuration plays really, really well with welder, and I
That's true.
configured the playlist to use welder and synthesizer to.
Yeah, you hadn't had the synthesizer before.
Yeah, and synthesizer together with welder, like
Yeah.
welding a synthesizer for a Soul Guide Lantern. Soul Guide Lantern comes into play, exiles a key card from your opponent's graveyard. You exile the card with the synthesizer. And yeah, it's like, okay, on the next turn you crack the Soul Guide Lantern, you even draw a card out of it, and you played another artifact because you exile the card with the synthesizer. Next turn, you switch this card with the synthesizer, so you exile another card, or you have a second welder in there, so you sack the synthesizer again for the Soul Guide Lantern, and you have like card advantage for days. And because of the synthesizer as a card advantage engine, the Jessica Breacher matchup is kind of good, because you exile a card, you don't draw a card, so it works really well.
Against Narset.
Against Narset, against Hull Breacher, it doesn't really matter. I have the Red Elemental Blast in the main deck to fight against their key cards, and yeah.
It sounds like a good plan, actually.
It's one of the better matchups, yeah.
Yeah.
If
And
not
will be
the best.
it will be a big portion of the field, I guess. Because the Italians are very control focused.
Yeah, I
As far
expect
as
it
you know.
to
I
be
think so,
around
yeah.
8 to 10%, yeah. than like the 15 to 20% of Delva. So I have like 30% that I'm definitely looking forward to. And for decks that are just chunking around, Paint Deck Grandstone is always a good thing to play against, which is a fast combo to deal with.
That's true.
So yeah.
How about you, Daniel?
Well,
What are you playing?
I'm not completely sure. I have to be honest with you.
Okay.
So you're playing Burn on both events?
Yes. This will be basically my last resort.
This is my last resort.
I've been toying around in a local game store with Chess Breacher for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 weeks, something like this. But it kept going
Worse and worse.
worse and worse. Yeah, it is. I don't know. It for me, it still exists the problem of not being able to finish the games fast. And a lot of people, well, maybe this is some kind of a local problem that people are bashing control decks right now, because we have a lot of Chess-Kai decks.
Yeah, we had like 4 to 5 Chess-Kai players every FNM.
And people hate it when a lot of decks are common in a local game, so they bash it with weird, unplayable decks, and they hate it. And
So
I mean,
you're
of
playing
course, this is not representative for the whole meta game, of course, and not what I would expect in Bologna, of course. But it kind of ruined the experience for me, in a sense.
Okay, give me an example of one of the decks that was specifically aimed to beat Chess-Kai Breacher.
Having four
Turn one.
4 fetch lands out against the Blood Sun.
Well, Stompy decks with this kind of Blood Sun main deck, but I don't know. Sometimes you face a turn 1 Ashiok.
So you played against Florian?
Yes. I'm really sorry, but what the hell is this? Then follow up a turn 2 Opposition Agent.
This was Florian and my masterpiece. It's
Completely
completely non-fetch.
bullshit. Completely bullshit. Something like this. And I mean, there's a lot of things, and honestly, and that's the reason why I'm torn. The other option I always have, of course, is Storm, which has the advantage I don't use that much time during the rounds. I can relax in between, and if I am expecting a lot of control in Italy, Storm is actually a good deck, because usually it has a good control matchup. However, I'm not sure if it is all that good against Delver.
Yeah.
This is my biggest problem.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not sure if I want to play Storm or a control deck.
Yeah.
And I figured, okay, I want to beat control decks because I'm expecting control decks, and I also want to beat Delva.
Yeah.
So I kind of have the idea of shoutouts now to Mark Eric Vogt. He's always playing a band control deck with a red splash for blasts and some minor other cards. Mm-hmm. And I think this idea is very nice. It has a big problem, of course. The mana base is just horrendous, in my opinion. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of going all in on this. Well, because that's like a bias, right? So if you have, let's say, a deck that is partially consisted of basic islands, so that you can play around Wasteland, for example, or Blood Moon, and then you have some dual lands, okay?
Yeah.
And then I want to, of course, be able to cast my spells. So I'm going to fetch for duels, of course.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I want to fetch for duels. Then I'm thinking, okay, I want to play around Wasteland and Blood Moon a little bit. So I don't know, I have a duel, and then with the second land, I fetch a basic.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get wasted once. Very common. Now I'm left with one basic. I only have one color left. However, if I would have chosen to fetch for 2 dual lands in the first 2 lands, and I get wasted once, I have 2 colors.
Yeah.
It's just better. So this is also that happens a kind of a different experience, because a lot of people are afraid of Wasteland and Blood Moon to a certain extent that they kind of play around it with
Yeah.
fetching for 1 basic.
Yeah, you have
Then
to
get
fetch for
totally blown out.
Blown up by either the Wasteland doesn't happen and your basic fucks you over with your
mana base.
mana base, or you get wasted once, which is on average maybe the case, and then you're still fucked basically.
Yeah.
So why don't you ignore it? Completely go on duels. I mean, of course, it happens that you get wasted twice, but how often will this gonna happen?
Yeah.
I
In
mean,
my experience, all the time.
I mean, I think on
2,
average,
3 wastelands. Bow, bow, bow.
it's not on statistical reason. It's not that common to get wasted twice. On
Yeah.
average, maybe once per game against the wasteland deck.
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't know.
reason you always fetch for either 2 basics or you say,
Yeah.
fuck it, I go for 2 dudes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for my example, in my Red White Painted deck, I play 2 basics, 1 plains and a mountain.
Yeah.
It depends on the matchup, but most of the time, if I have 2 fetch lands,
Yeah.
and in the matchup, I fear about Wasteland, I fetch for the first duel, the first basic, then the second basic, or I go for 2 plateaus because
Yeah, and
it
you just
doesn't
completely-
matter. So
Doesn't matter. This is the same idea for me, and that's why I kind of am sticking to this 4-color control deck right now with bent bases and some red splash. And one thing I really like about this deck is that you have Uro, which is just a really good thing to close out games.
Yeah,
You're faster. at least.
You're faster, yes. And if you still have some expressive iteration, you kind of... I mean, I tested against Cheskai Breacher. It is not that I would say I'm ahead.
Yeah.
It is, it kind of feels even-ish, and it depends on your build, of course. I now trimmed and added some expressive iteration to pair against control a little better to be able to grind a little bit more. And I think with this configuration, I might be slightly ahead of all the control decks.
Okay.
But overall, it is still not. This is why I'm saying I'm not sure what I'm playing. It is still not completely okay. I'm winning every Jessica matchup.
Yeah.
I can't say that, and because there's still swords. There's still ending as an answer for them against my Uros. I'm against my libraries. I mean, yeah, the green cards are nice and all, but they don't really pair all that great against Narset and
Swords of Blashes and
Swords of Blashes and Ending, which are still common cards in Cheskai. So I'm thinking, how can I beat Cheskai, of course, right now?
1 and treat the angels.
And Treat the Angels might be some kind of a non-blue threat that is...
I think
Yeah,
Entreat in the
dodges
current
also
meta
the
is...
Pyroblast,
Yeah, it dodges Pyroblast. The only card that's bad against it, because you're on a Mystic Sanctuary build,
of course.
So if they Force of Negation it. But I
Yeah.
think that Entreat the Angels in the current meta is a really good answer. Because against the...
We go back to miracles.
No,
it
the,
is-
the
it is
reason
a
is
cyber card.
it's a really strong card in an era where Hull Breacher Days Undoing is a card combination. Because if this is the top deck, even though you have nothing in play or in hand, you can still tap your 7 lands or whatever. The time you had before resolving the Days Undoing, get your 5 tokens and they need the immediate answer for it.
Yeah, that's true.
And the 5 tokens can win the game most of the time in one swing. So I think Days Undoing, Entreat the Ancients is a one-off finisher is or could be the play.
Could be a good idea.
But it depends. Do you play a chase?
Yes, one main deck.
One chase,
Currently.
Yeah. So if you're playing one chase for brainstorms, it should be good enough.
There's some versions that are playing too.
Yeah.
I opted
How
for...
many of the Plane Cycler do you play?
1.
Timeless Dragon.
One Timeless Dragon.
One Timeless Dragon. Because I think that the second Timeless Dragon would be the cut to make for the Entreat the Angels.
Yeah.
Because they are
They're
both the
basically-
win condition,
Mark posted a list. I think it is what either on. I think it was on his Twitter.
Yeah.
Where he played a list with entreat in the sideboard.
Yeah.
This is also an option, of course. I right now have an Wandering Emperor in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Also nice card that doesn't get blasted and
Yeah, and is a win condition
is a
in
win
this
condition.
exact matchup, yeah.
exactly. But maybe instead of the Emperor, Entreat the Angels could also be an option to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a really nice deck, but I'm not sure if I can. Yeah,
Play it to the right extent.
yeah, in that sense, because I don't have that much control experience. I might be switching just or sticking to Storm.
Yeah.
But I will see. Maybe I will check out the meta on Saturday with Burn and then see what I will play spontaneously on Sunday.
I think a lot of people are doing this.
Yeah.
Not especially with Burn here, but
We
But
will,
with the
we will see a lot
attacks.
of Weather the Storm on Sunday.
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, would be fine for me.
For me too.
1 or 2 healing salves in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be gross.
Was it the Alpha card? Yeah, was healing salve.
The healing salve is also one of the 3-point cycle, like Lightning Bolt and Chester Recall a healing salve, Dark Ritual,
And Giant Grove.
and Giant Growth, yeah. So the
Completely balanced cycle, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah. 3 cards equal 3
life.
damage prevented.
Yes.
Or gain life. Yeah.
Or free life, yeah. It's basically the same.
It's the same value, yeah.
The same value.
So you can't draw with Ancestral Recall 2 healing salves or something
No,
like
no,
that.
no.
No.
It's not possible.
Impossible.
that's just
But it negates a lightning bolt.
hey, it's a 1-for-1.
It's a 1-for-1. Totally legit.
Yeah, some things have certainly changed since beta.
So, talking about bad cards, what are you playing, Phil?
That's why.
I think it was a good transition.
It was a really great transition.
You should call your deck NBC.
Nah, OBC, only bad cards.
But that's not true. I play Brainstorm and Ponder.
Yeah.
So 8 good cards.
8 good cards. So 8
AC, 8 cast, or 8 good cards.
8 cards.
8
cards.
8 GC, 8 good cards.
8 good cards. No. I'm playing my pet deck at the moment. As you all know, I don't have very much time to brew or to leverage my skills with another deck. So I'm playing Phoenix again. And yeah, we'll just try to do my best.
Is it the variant? Is it Grixis? Because we're playing
It's actually
Brainstorm
4-color.
a 4-color.
Because you're playing
1
Green in
Reverend
the-
Silence in the
in the
sideboard.
in the bio, yeah.
Okay.
And the Bayou in the sideboard to board it in.
Okay.
Basically what you're doing is you just bring in 1 Bayou and then wish for the Silence.
So you can fetch for the bio and then cast it for free.
Yeah, if there are a lot of ley lines.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And yeah, the Phoenix deck is a dedicated combo deck, so it doesn't have a mid-range plan or something like the Pioneer Is It Phoenix lists or the Delva Grixis Phoenix lists that are sometimes running around with Dark Confident and Pyromancer.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool, but the problem I always have with these kind of builds is that they play 4 Bird Alive and 4 Dark Rituals, and that just feels so bad. You just need them once.
Yeah, you just need them. Well, I think the idea to have 4 Buried Alive in this sense is that
You always have the one.
you always have the one, and
And
you are
if it gets
fine.
countered,
You're
yeah,
fine with
okay.
it getting countered, for example. Yeah.
Because you are playing how many?
3.
3. Yeah, but you have the Burning Wish for the 4th copy.
You have to, I
Yeah.
play 4 Burning Wish, 2 Infernal Tutor, and 3 Bird Alive. So basically, I have 7.
Yeah, if I told you would have helped, of course, to get it, but
Yeah, Lions of Diamond.
With Lions of Diamond.
with LED it works. Yeah.
That's
So
easier.
if you're playing and we are playing, all of us is playing an
combo deck,
an LED deck.
And also an LED deck. How many LEDs are you playing?
One.
At least.
But I'm playing the playset of Plateau. But yeah, continue.
Sure.
I also thought about playing a plateau deck, but not for
not
Bologna.
not the time for Madretti?
Not the time, no.
Okay.
Actually, I'm trying to build a new Mardu list, which doesn't focus on the Reti, but focuses on Obnixilis, the new one, because this card is really great. At least Christian has said his.
He did the classic 4-0 into 0-4 with
that's
Chant
true.
Liquid.
That's true. But he said the games where he casted or resolved the Obnixilis, they were easily winnable.
Okay, yeah. The reason is because
Kind of,
in
yeah.
a Liquid deck you can do it on turn 2.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason that's good. Because you can sack the Dryad Arbor for it. Because turn 1 you go buy your Green Sea for Dryad Arbor.
Yeah.
And on turn 2 you can
Next
cast it
turn,
for
Obnixilis, yeah.
for 2 Obnixilis. Or you can sack the Veteran Explorer on turn 2 for a Cabal Therapy after you cast it. So you get other 2 basics out of the deck and then cast the Obnixilis. Yeah, you have...
The turn
We have
2
a few-
Obnixilis is really strong.
Yeah.
And the Fiend is
Surprisingly good.
surprisingly good, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm brewing around in this direction, but actually this all happens after Bologna. So I'm stick to the roots. I'm sticking to my guns that I
that
that are
you're rocking
familiar.
the Phoenixes.
yeah, I'm rocking my Phoenixes with a very nice wish board. I basically my whole sideboard is just a fucking wish board. so everything that you shouldn't do with tests, you do it in this.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
this deck list.
basically your sideboard plan is bought out some amount of Phoenix and
Not
bury
even
the-
everything, yeah. Not even everything.
and buried alive for more Empty the Warrants.
So basically, I'm playing 4 Empty the Warrants in the sideboard, and
Yeah.
in comes 3 Empty the Warrants.
Yeah.
And out goes 2
One
buried alive
Phoenix and
and
2
1 buried alive, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe
2
if-
buried alive and 1 Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah, and if I know they are on Leyland, then maybe I'm boarding the Bayou, and that's basically everything that this deck sideboards in every matchup. And sometimes I don't even do this. So if I don't expect hard Grave Fate, I don't even board anything.
Yeah.
Because I've constructed my sideboard so that I can get everything by the wish.
Yeah.
And as soon as turn 1,
Yeah.
if the stars align.
Yeah, the huge part is going to get the Goblin War Strike.
Yeah, that's true. The Goblin was, or to get the Void Snare to bounce an opposing Murktide region and go in for the win.
Yeah, you're playing Void Snare. Void Snare is such a cool card.
It's so great,
What,
actually.
what does it?
It bounces a non-land permanent for 1 mana.
And it's a sorcery.
Is it non-land?
Non-land, yeah.
Non-land.
Okay, but it's a sorcery, right?
But it's a sorcery. Yeah, it's the card that I also play in the modern Breach version.
Storm right now plays Consign Obliteration.
Consign to Oblivion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it costs 2, and
It costs 2 as an instant.
I can search it. That's
Yeah.
true.
You can search for it.
But the second, the aftermath half is just
No, it's not relevant.
irrelevant, yeah.
It is just relevant because you can search for it. And it is a bounce spell that gets...
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
and
also...
sometimes the back half matters because you can't tendrils for the win. But it's like a 1 in 100 games
Yeah,
case.
it
For,
just
for,
doesn't
for
matter.
Storm, it is just because you're playing Burning Wishes main deck right now.
Yeah.
It is the reason to answer main deck Athalia or anything that would prevent yourself from... Well, On
Leyland
average, not.
Leyland is not a good sideboard deck versus Ant.
It's a good main deck.
Yeah.
Main deck tech it's okay, yeah. I give it that.
Just to have an main deck answer to anything that can come up.
Yeah, and with that comes to mind that we kind of have to do a big talk on Friday about matchup, Daniel. How I should approach the Werewolves matchup where you have experience with my deck.
Against your deck? Or
Yeah, so
Okay.
I can write myself a little bit of a
that's-
a sideboarding plan. I did it on a smaller case. What are cards that I want to bring in from a sideboard that I can map out if there are sideboard cards that I don't really want to bring in.
This is something what I really like to do, the sideboard mapping.
Yeah.
This is what I typically do with any deck I touch.
Yeah, I mean, I did it for a long time, not for this deck, but then I said, I kind of have to do it, and sat there down for half an hour or an hour and said, which are the cards that I want to bring in, and it showed that the sideboard is apparently really good because the cards are. Or all of the cards, except for Leyland of the Void, has a lot of huge use cases, but you need the Leyland of the Void for various matchups.
Yeah.
So
It's just the
Leyland
best
of the
tape at
Void
the
is
moment.
just uncuttable from the sideboard.
True, yeah.
And for a few matchups where I maybe would use the slots for, I don't really have the cards to bring out, so it doesn't really matter there.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll certainly do this. We have 9-hour drive.
We have a 9 to 10 hour drive at least.
That's
I mean,
hard, yeah.
according to Google Maps, it's about 8 hours.
But yeah, we will
But
do
we
breaks.
have to
and-
do breaks. We have to put back fuel into the trucks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So it's probably more to 10 hours.
More
So
to
we
10
will
hours,
have a lot of time to discuss
Yeah.
our various deck choices, our various sideboard mappings.
We will hear the song Bologna from Wanda a lot of times. I think
Probably Michael Pilz will always wants to hear this song.
Yeah.
I said I will put in the 10-hour YouTube version. So
This is exactly for the right. So
yeah,
perfect.
Probably, yeah.
But if you guys are also coming to the Bologna event, you can catch up with us there,
yeah.
of course.
You will see us because we are wearing our merchandise with the Response logo. So
And our playmats.
and our playmates, yeah, for sure. So you can see us from far away
Yes.
already.
The complete
And also you can how shall I say this? You can also follow our journey on our social media because we're doing a kind of a vlog or something like that. We do so short videos.
We kind of try this and see how it
how it performs,
how it performs. Yeah.
how you guys like it, and I will post the videos on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, I guess. So check us out. Would be great if you follow us on Facebook. We need some followers because I want to link our web shop to our Facebook page. It would be @InResponseLegacy on Facebook. On Instagram.
But I think we need 100 followers. something
Yeah, I
like
think 100, and we're about 7 away. So
that. Yeah.
click follow.
Pick your spot to be one of the contributors to be able to make this happen.
That we can link our web shop.
It's just dumb that I just can't link it if I don't have 100 followers. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of good because of scammers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can make it seems like a legit page and has the web shop in there.
True.
I mean, you can
Yeah, that's
link it
true.
in the how is it called where you describe yourself
In the description.
Yeah,
It's getting late now.
I only had the German word in my mind. So.
Beschreibung.
Yeah, Beschreibung, and there, where you can describe is description.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You can also find the link to the webshop in our Beschreibung.
in
the
our
show.
link tree.
In
our link tree.
Beschreibung of the show. This is what I meant.
That's true. And in our link bomb.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
guys, I think we should wrap it up here.
Yeah.
If you like what we are doing, consider supporting us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/response_legacy. And it would be even better if you follow us on our social media and to get the word out there that we are doing this great podcast. So follow us on Twitter. It's @response_legacy. On Instagram, it's the same, @response_legacy. On Facebook, it's @inresponse_legacy because I can't do underscores on Facebook. It's also just dumb. And you can find me for sure on Twitter. It's @FinnegMTG, PHINEKMTG. Daniel, where can people find you?
Well, most of the time, of course, on Twitter, it is @FlyingDelver. Sometimes you can also find me there on my website, which is no, it is not it is greatness@anycost.com. And you can find me this weekend in Bologna.
Oh,
Where can you find you, Peter?
At first, I want to acknowledge that we have Philip back on, who is ready on the links. Because
nice,
last year we completely struggled at this part.
Yeah.
And
MVP there.
MVP, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I feel flattered.
Or MVLK. Most valuable link knower. So
Link Noah.
link knower. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's @unicornlord. The O in the Lord is a 0. And you can also find me in Bologna. And,
Like every one of us.
and you can also find Philip in Bologna,
Yeah.
but he doesn't care about you, so he doesn't mention it.
Oh, shots fired. No, that's not true. That's not true.
And so I think we wrap it up, and in response, the end.
This was In Response, a Legacy podcast. If you enjoyed the ride, feel free to support the show by following, leaving a review, or subscribe on patreon.com/response_legacy.